The tobacco case representing the state of Florida was unquestionably the greatest challenge, legal challenge I've ever had. And also it had a lot of personal challenges. I got a call from Dexter Douglas, who at that time I think was general counsel to Governor Childs. And Dexter told me that the state was thinking about putting together a team of lawyers to represent the state of Florida against tobacco. And he wanted to know if I was interested in being involved. My mother had died of lung cancer at age 54. And the idea of being able to go after these people who had never been successfully sued before, had never paid a judgment, and had been above the law for so long, that was very, very intriguing to me. And the idea of not representing a smoker who always is criticized for smoking and assumption of the risk and comparative negligence, and makes it very, very difficult, at least particularly then, and up until then, impossible to make a recovery. But instead to represent the state of Florida, who doesn't choose to smoke, but by law has to pay for the diseases caused by smoking and sue the industry on behalf of the state of Florida, that sounded like a way that I might finally be able to do something about this terrible venal industry. And so I talked to my partner, Kitty Phillips, about it. She made me promise that we wouldn't spend more than $100,000. And by the time the case was settled during jury selection, we'd already spent over $1 million. That was my firm's share. The total cost was over $20 million that we collectively had spent up until that date, and would have spent another 50 or 100 to try the case. So it was tremendously challenging because of the tasks we had to do. But it was the greatest experience of my life. We had a great team of lawyers. We delegated different responsibilities to different lawyers, and it was one of the first times in my life that I didn't feel like I had to do everything and know everything. I couldn't. And because Wayne Hogan and I, and Wayne had come up through the Bedell firm too, we were experienced in federal practice. We were experienced in every aspect of practicing law, which is somewhat unique this day and time. Most lawyers just do one thing. I'd always been taught you do it from the time the client walks in until the final appellate decision is over. You handle every aspect of it. So we had a broad experience, unlike most of the other lawyers in the team. And so we took over handling all the pre-trial, everything, and moved to Palm Beach, and took over a hotel in Palm Beach, and basically lived there for over a year. Every day, virtually in the courthouse or before the magistrate, and dealing with some of the very best lawyers in the country, from all over the country, Washington, New York, Philadelphia, as well as lawyers from Florida. They had teams of Florida lawyer and national lawyers for every defendant. Every hearing there would be maybe two of us or three of us, and 20 or 30 tobacco lawyers. And so the level of the litigation was very high, very professional. These lawyers on the other side were excellent lawyers and very professional. We had a magistrate assigned to our case. We had a judge that would give us hearings on a minute's notice. We had an appellate court that was expediting everything. And so it was like having your own judicial system devoted to this one case. And we had a great team of lawyers. And so, and we made a lot of law, new law that had never been made before. And when we started, we had a couple of lawyers who were assigned to do jury selection, mock trials, focus groups. We were losing we'd have a focus group or a mock trial group every week or two. And in the first months, we were losing and we were losing. Over time, we started getting the documents. Over time in Palm Beach, we were getting a lot of press. Everybody started realizing the truth about tobacco and how they had hidden documents from the government, how they had been targeting children. And so there started being a shift. We could start seeing the shift in attitudes. And we learned better how to present the case. And so by the time we were picking the jury, choosing the jury, it had changed. And we were winning in all our mock trials, and we were going to kick their ass. In the second week of jury selection, we were called together with Governor Childs for a dinner one night, and he announced that he had settled the case, contingent on our agreeing to forego our contractual fee and agree to arbitrate with tobacco. Meeting and getting to know him, working with him, working with Attorney General Butterworth, and the friendship and camaraderie and the incredible teamwork with Wayne Hogan, a guy named Andy Burley from South Carolina, and David Fonville in particular. We were the main ones handling most of the heavy lifting at that stage. Other lawyers were taking depositions and doing other things. So it was a great experience. It was a huge challenge. Probably, to conclude, probably the biggest challenge was that the whole time that we're doing all this work, the tobacco industry is lobbying the legislature and trying to repeal the statute under which we were operating. And literally the week before we were picking the jury, there were hearings going on trying to stop the Attorney General from bringing the lawsuit. The lawsuit was brought in the name of Lawton Childs and in the name of the Attorney General. So we were on a fast track because we never knew when they would cut our legs out from under us. And it was really corrupt that this legislature, we're down here dealing with this industry that has been responsible for the deaths of millions of Americans and billions of dollars in health care, and they're doing everything they can to take away our ability to sue them. So it was a huge frustration, and we got pulled constantly into the legislative issues, which I just wanted to practice law. So it was an extraordinary experience, and by the end of it, things were really starting to turn our way.